welcome to my channel. This week I'm going to be redrawing my oldest piece of art still available online. It's called Luxray Boy. It was posted in January 2011 and it looks like this. Okay, let's go. So from what I can remember, I originally drew this character based on one of my Pokemon that I was playing in a game. I can't actually remember which game it was, but Luxray was like my go-to Pokemon at the time. And I wanted to make him into a human, you know, hot anime boy. I wasn't really very confident with drawing anime faces front on, so I went for the side profile, but that led to some issues with this redesign because that hair. Okay, about here I was like, am I drawing Connie from Attack on Titan? No, sure. Okay, now soccer. No, decided against that too. Now I'm just gonna thumbnail something, try and get a pose position down for this character because, you know, I try not to draw just headshots anymore. Usually get really annoyed with myself with the idea that I don't change up my poses enough. I always draw characters in the same poses, but I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh. I always seem to do two sketches, the very rough thumbnail sketch and then the more detailed sketch to try and give myself an idea of the anatomy. By this point I knew I was going to use the anime headshot rather than the more fairy style. And I wanted to give a bit of a more action pose, which is why the arms are up in that position. I thought it would be cool for him to be using an electric type move, because Luxray is an electric type Pokemon. So I put the head to the side so that I could get an idea of the one that I was going for, which was the more anime style. Although I did decide against the whole moody boy thing that I was going for in the original one. I thought it might be nice for him to smile, although it's a little bit of an evil smile, I guess. Mischievous, maybe. Now I'm doing some costume design, and this was probably the most difficult part of this whole process because, as you can tell from the first image, I didn't think too much about the outfit, I just drew a head. I tried to draw a cape there for a minute, but decided that it was going to mess up the silhouette I was going for, so decided against it. I wanted to incorporate the tail somehow, so I decided to make it into like a belt. Yeah, could be used as a whip, I guess. I don't know. Oh gosh, here's me trying to draw some abs. I really do love this pose. I use it so much. Okay, now the lines. Because Luxray is based on a lion, I thought that it'd be really cool to try and do like a full fluffy mane of hair. And I did manage to get sort of a design for that in the fairy headshot, but I was struggling a lot with the more anime headshot. For some unknown reason, through divine intervention, I was able to draw it in sketch process and it actually looks really good. I'm really happy with it. Because I adore the way that Studio Ghibli animate their hair and make it come to life on their characters, I thought that it's really cool for me to try and give that a go. I do try and do it often, but I struggle, and I thought that I managed to get it in at least the bangs on this character's face. I really like his face. I have a weak spot for anti-hero types and he's given me the vibes. I always get really self-conscious when I'm drawing like bear anatomy and some bear chests. Not bear like, you know, grizzly bear, bear like naked. So for the yellow lines on Luxray's design, I decided to do like a band going around his arms, and I thought that looked pretty cool. But it did mean that there was going to be like a sort of overflow with his jacket or whatever that is, like a crop top. So I needed to figure out a way to do that without it looking ridiculous. I remember that Luxray wasn't the only Pokemon that I attempted to draw in a human style. I had a whole team of Pokemon and I honestly couldn't tell you now who they were, what Pokemon they were, but I had a whole team of 6 Pokemon who I was going to design into human characters and write a story around and things, but Luxray was the leader. I do remember that my starter for this game was Cyndaquil, so there was a Typhlosion on the team, and I believe that character was supposed to be like second in command. I guess they should have been the leader, but I preferred Luxray. I also distinctly remember having a Mareep as well. Just thinking about it, I believe the Pokemon game was Heart Gold. I did decide to do a bit of a cape because of Luxray's pelt being quite fluffy. I'm not overly impressed with the belt idea being the tail, but it looks okay. I'm a little bit disappointed that I didn't do more with the legs. They look a little bit plain to me now, but yeah. I've wanted to do this redraw for a while. Whenever I get an art block, it's one of the first things I go to redraw an old piece, because I'm familiar with the characters and what I was trying to portray at the time, and now my skill level's improved, maybe I can do a better job of it. But with this one, I've looked it over so many times, and I think it's just because the original art piece is so off-putting to me. I understand that I was young, and obviously you're not going to enjoy everything that you drew when you were younger, and it's good to have something to look back on and say, wow, look how far I've come. But I just see so many flaws in it that I think the idea of looking at it for any amount of time was really distressing. But I'm glad I've gone back to it now, and I've been able to do justice to the character that I originally come up with in my head. Clearly I'm a lot more confident to draw full body images now, as well as faces, front facing and side profile even. And I think that makes a big difference, because the reason that I draw this pose so often is because it's comfortable to me. I understand the dynamics of it and the anatomy of it. And obviously it's great to get out of your comfort zone, but doing this piece in the first place was getting out of my comfort zone. I didn't want to redraw this piece. I'd thought about doing it so many times and never got around to it. So the only way to get this piece done and to do a good job on it was to feel comfortable. So to get back to the art, I colour picked directly from an image of Luxray that I got off Bulbapedia. Looking back now, I wish I could have put something in his hair, something to resemble the ears and have that pop of colour up at the top of his head. I did think about doing fingerless gloves, that was in the original design, but it looked really too dark and you couldn't really tell what was going on with the hands, so I decided against it. Here's me again trying to draw in some abs, so this is fun. I decided to do like the cross scar on the belly button because I didn't really know what to do with the belly button, and the chest and stomach looked a bit bare, and I thought that it was a nice little throwback to the whole like cross star type design that Luxray has on his tail. I've been practicing drawing abs more to try and get some more muscle definition into my drawings and things. There's some really great tutorials on YouTube. I'll link some in the description below. I always really like Luxray's red eyes, well, red sclera and yellow eyes. Just doing my shadows here, and I'll be honest, my worst nightmare is lighting. I'm really bad at it. I need to practice a lot more. I always tend to do red for my shadows, just because it makes it really easy for me to see against the black lines that I usually use. Once I've put all the shadows in, I will set it to a darker colour and lower the opacity until it looks like the right type of shadow that I'm going for. I'm sure you've gathered by now that I've tried to do a bit of a stream of consciousness voiceover in this one rather than a scripted version. And let's just say this is why I don't talk during live streams. But on a more positive note, overall I'm really happy with how this piece turned out. I spent a little bit of time trying to get the aesthetic that I was going for the background with the lightning. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.